Hi everybody, my name is Roy Avon and I'm here with the legendary Dream Theater here at Dream Theater headquarters to talk about the upcoming 15th studio album, A View from the Top of the World. Thanks guys for having me here.
Absolutely. You're welcome anytime.
Very, very exciting. We're recording this at a time where obviously the world was in lockdown, not a lot of shows, no touring, and talk about that and finding inspiration in that time to record a new album, to write and use that time to make this new album. It's been 2 years since the last one.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right, and we were definitely in a position and at a point where we knew that touring, wasn't going to be in the near future, and we weren't sure exactly how long we would be off the road. So, if this was any normal tour cycle, we wouldn't have gone into the studio at this, the point that we did. We would have waited longer and taken more time. But the fact that the touring on the horizon was just so unknown, we said, hey guys, let's make a new record. Let's do what we love to do. Let's be creative, get together. And so we started the process really a year before the album release, which is something we don't normally do.
Yeah. With no real deadline in mind yet, right? It was sort of, let's just use this time for something and see if anything creative happens.
What are we going to do? Sit around and, get on Zoom calls and say hi? Let's get together and do what we do.
We do have our cooking show that's private.
Right, that's true.
Right.
Recipes.
It's titled A View from the Top of the World. I feel like that title has some significance for this and what everybody was going through. Was there a reason for naming it that, and does it have a specific meaning?
I mean, honestly, this is titling records is a funny thing, because sometimes it comes really quickly. Sometimes it even comes before, and sometimes it's really it's really hard, trying to come up with what is the title that's going to reflect what this album is all about. This one, it was difficult. There was nothing that was really coming to mind. The things that were I don't know. It's hard to be original in things you used, or it just didn't quite do it. And I remember the discussions was that we were having was that the music was really powerful. It was dark, but it was also positive. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of spirit. So what would kind of encapsulate that? And eventually, one of the songs on the album is the epic "A View from the Top of the World," the title track. And I had a list of just dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens. And
there were at least 30 with 8 words in the title.
Oh my God! Yeah, it was ridiculous. It's like, should we do a sing? And then one day I just kind of saw that, and I was like, you know what? That's pretty damn Dream Theater-y as a title.
Is there a board in the studio, like a running list of titles you guys write, or
no? But like anything that we do, I just pose it to everybody and say, what do you guys think of it? And I think the time, when you know that it is the title or it is the decision, whatever it may be, is when everybody kind of comes back like, yes, that's so cool. Yeah. I remember everyone's, that's such a positive title. That's cool. Love it. Thumbs up, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, okay, cool. So,
Jordan, inspiration for the music on this album, did it come from a particular place? Were you guys looking to explore something new or different, or what were you reaching for when you started to write?
Well, first of all, we were all inspired, just getting together and having that space and not having an immediate deadline. I think this opened us up to a lot of possibilities. The other cool thing about the way the music came about from a kind of personal perspective is that I was already in a creative motion from doing LTE and doing some solo stuff, and just being in lockdown kind of was an interesting kind of inspiration. And so by the time we got in the studio with Dream Theater, it was, okay, let's go, let's keep writing music, let's do it. John was doing his solo album, so creative wheels were already in motion, which helped a lot.
James, lyrically, were you writing, or do you do this generally? Write lyrics while you're not even recording albums at the time, accumulating ideas, or do you look for the music from these guys as it's building to inspire lyrics for songs?
Yeah. I'm constantly jotting down lines here and there when I'm, on my phone. If I get a cool line in my head, and then I might go back, revisit it a day or two later, and then expand on it. But generally speaking, it's for me, and these guys know that, it's for me, I like to establish the melody, and then the lyrics come pretty quickly. I'm not like some lyricists, they love to just jot down 1,000 words and then they dissect it and make it work within the melody once the melody's. Whereas me, it's easier, I find, because it just kind of sets the template for you when you're writing lyrics. But I was in a situation where I've written a solo album, so I was already in a lyrical head, and I'd been writing, I'd already had like 9 lyrics written for my solo album. So as soon as this came about, I was already kind of in a groove. So it was great. It was great timing for that.
You guys were on tour promoting Distance Over Time and playing Scenes from Memory in full, which was amazing. I saw that concert. It was unbelievable. And then that gets cut short. But I'm wondering if revisiting that album, that iconic album, influenced this album as well musically. Was that something? Do you take that, when you play older things from previous tours into maybe what you're working on?
I think it all kind of blurs in together. If anything, your memory is refreshed for that period. And then that definitely, I think, in the back of your mind, it's still running as you're writing. And I remember during the writing process, we were very keen on whenever there was a strong reference to that album, we were very aware, well, wait, it sounds so much like that. So then let's go this way with it. So
I remember when we were out and we were doing a change of seasons, and do you remember we were talking one day?
Yeah.
And we were saying, there was something about the way that song compositionally was put together. And I believe it was you and Jordan, and we were just sitting around, just shooting the shit, and you guys like, I'm going to revisit that.
Yeah.
I'm going to analyze that, because maybe that's something to come back, and because it is the true essence of who Dream Theater was then, and it does blend into who and what we are today. It's relevant. Right. It's still relevant. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that was really cool. And so the same thing happened with Scenes from a Memory. It's like you're saying, wait a minute, there's something going on here. Yeah. There's a reason why this hit.
Yeah. There's like certain things you learn from like life on the road and making albums about the way that people respond to your music and different sections and different feels. And we kind of think, wow, it would be cool to revisit that and capture that kind of energy again. And so Scenes was definitely, an album that, so many people responded to in such a powerful way that it was worth going back and saying, okay, well, we should look at that, we should capture that and try to bring some of that in. And parts of Change of Seasons, there was some energy in that was really, big and glorious. Yeah. And we're like, let's get a little of that in there. So we're very conscious of, wanting to make music that has a kind of effect that we know will, bring people in and get them really, excited.
Indeed.